Hey guys, how's it going
How
out
about
there?
your
Hope you guys are
side
doing
today?
well today. So, I'm going to be talking about two issues which are kind of going hand in hand nowadays, and at some point, I think are going to be kind of inexchangeable, which are AI and homelessness. Because those are two pretty big issues which are going on right now, especially AI. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest hot button issues going on in America and I mean, really just the whole world right now. And homelessness is obviously a major issue that's been going on for forever and has been a continuous problem. I mean, especially in the bigger cities like LA and New York with the tent cities, the homeless encampments, the working homeless. And when it comes to homelessness, I it seems like there's kind of become this mindset for a lot of places, just in general. I think of trying to sweep it under the rug, of just kind of relegating this as like just kind of throw it to the side, kind of just outcast it, and it'll work itself out. Like don't really address the core of why there's so many homeless people. Don't try to address like how we can kind of rehabilitate people to being able to sustain themselves and being productive members of society. It's kind of more of like, yeah, let's just kind of round all these people up, tear down their encampments and their camps, and kind of move them into some fucking dark corner of the city or town and kind of leave them there and just kind of let them be. Don't let them, have anything to do with us. Don't have them bothering us and just let them be there. And that's just such a fucked way to look at this because there are just more and more homeless people that are being made, you know, a lot of times for no fault of their own. I mean, either because they can't afford, to live where they're at, or they are in a area where it's just unsustainable. Like, I mean, New York is just fucked when it comes to trying to find housing. I mean, it costs like 9,000 for a small little enclosure just to live in. LA is the same way. Like, LA, they got the working homeless. I mean, that's not just a thing in LA, but it's pretty prominent there where you have an entire population of people that are working full time jobs that go into work every day, but are homeless because they can't afford it. They don't have the money to afford any place to live at where they're at because it's just so expensive. And it's just the fact that there's more of a mindset of just trying to kind of relegate that to just not being a public issue and is trying to make that like a under the rug, like we're not going to deal with that. We're just going to let those people be by themselves. That's just not the way to approach this. And when it comes to AI, because I was thinking about this, I enjoy AI for a lot of the good that it has. It has a lot of positives. I'm not someone that thinks AI is just this complete destruction of human civilization. I don't think it's going to destroy humanity. I don't think it's going to be the downfall of mankind. I mean, honestly, we as people have more of a likelihood of just bombing the entire fucking planet into oblivion before AI does that. I mean, let's be honest, we've nearly done that several times before. So the idea that AI is going to do something that people have nearly done numerous times throughout history is just ridiculous to me. But besides the fact, I also do acknowledge that there are a lot of downsides to AI. And one of the downsides of AI is the fact that it is pretty much going to automize the entirety of the workforce. I think at some point, and it doesn't seem that far fetched. I mean, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, this might have sounded kind of science fiction, but I think we're heading to a point where essentially every industry is completely automated. And it seems like we're kind of fast approaching that point. I mean, you look at, restaurants. There are restaurants now that have damn near no staff because it's all automated. They use AI for checking people in and taking orders. They don't really need people. And even in, stores, they're trying to automate stores where they don't have people. Even hospitals, there are a lot of jobs now that they just relegate to AI, IT to, computer jobs. Those are pretty much taken over by AI. Like there's so many industries that are being completely automated. I mean, even fucking sex work is being automated to where you can have a fucking AI sex bot, or there's even there have always been those blow up dolls, but they have those like weirdly human robots that look like a fucking Megan that are pretty much AI. They're like an AI girlfriend or boyfriend. So even sex work is being automated. And I mean, there's going to be a point where there's going to be just millions of people without work. And there really is no safety net in place for that. Like, there's no safety net for pretty much numerous to endless workforces being permanently out of work and not being able to find other jobs, because what's going to end up happening is there's going to be such a limited workforce for people that there's going to be such a competitive just clash for it. Now, only a small amount of people are going to be able to have those jobs for people. And you're still going to have a lot of people, the majority of people who don't have jobs and can't find work. And then what do you do? I mean, what do you do when you have a society where they cannot work? Like, the one thing now that people say for homeless people is like, oh, well, get a job. You go to a fucking Quick Trip or go to a gas station and get a job. Well, what happens if that gas station is fully automated? They don't hire people. We don't need people. What, go to fucking McDonald's? We're fully automated. What do you do then? Like, what do you do if you can't get a job? And then also, like, that kind of has another rippling effect of like college. Like, how does that affect college to where, like, one of the main points of college, besides educating people, is preparing you for a job? Well, how does that work if pretty much the majority of jobs and fields are automated and are not human operated? How do colleges work? How does that work? Yeah, there's just so many things that kind of trickle from that I don't think are really being addressed, or even I can think really even considered right now. But when it comes to the homeless situation, I mean, because again, like, there's really no safety net for that, to having that many people indefinitely out of work, because it's not like the pandemic where the whole country just shut down for an indefinite amount of time and people got stimulus checks to stay home until the country opened up again. Because in that situation, people still had their jobs, they just couldn't go to them for a temporary amount of time. In this situation, people don't have jobs, they don't have a job to go back to, and they don't have a job that they can go to. And the few jobs that they could possibly find, 9 times out of 10, are probably going to get automated. So even those jobs are going to get lost. So it's like, well, then what do you do then? Like, you're still fucked. And it's just, it's weird because it seems like we're kind of heading to this weird dystopia in a way when you think about it that way, to where you're going to have pretty much the overwhelming majority of society permanently unemployed with like nothing to do, because AI at this point, I mean, maybe not now, but I mean, if you're talking 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, I mean, imagine what AI will be able to do in 50 years from now. I mean, look at what it can do now from filmmaking. Like, it can make pretty good films already, like short films, like VO3 just got released, and it can make some pretty impressive projects. Like, imagine what it can do in 50 years. It could make a full fucking blockbuster film in about 10 minutes without any person involved. And also, upload it to the fucking theater and have no person involved in that entire process. It can do it completely separate from having anything to do with people. And it's like, well, what do you do then? Like, well, what do people do? Like, what do we do as a society when, pretty much most people are out of work forever, and AI is pretty much controlling most of the work? Like, they're serving you at the restaurant you can't afford to go to. They're, checking you out at the grocery store that you can't afford to buy groceries at. They're servicing the car that's completely computerized that you can't afford. They're doing your insurance that you really can't afford. Like, how like that's just such a fucking bizarre concept. But it's a very possibility. It's like a very, very strong possibility of that happening. I mean, it sounds kind of ridiculous when you say it out loud, but it's really not that ridiculous when you look at what AI is already doing, and like what AI is kind of being led to being able to do, to where it's being able to, drive cars on its own. They're also talking about, having planes that can fucking fly on their own, which, I mean, that's already fucked. I mean, the whole airplane industry is already a mess already. So that's just a disaster. And then, they're talking about that. They already have, I think they're already talking about, or they have the semi trucks that, haul like produce and supplies and stuff like that across the country. They also have self-driving trucks now, so that's becoming automated. They have Amazon drones, and they have delivery that's automated. So like we're already kind of seeing that happen of having industries and jobs, specific jobs being automated to where they have no people. And it just kind of makes you wonder, like, what is society going to look like in 30, 50, 60 years from now when that's a reality where the vast majority of the population are just out of work and really are kind of useless in a way. I mean, not that they're useless and like they can't do anything, but they're useless in the sense that there's nothing that they can do as far as a profession or a career or vocation or even like schooling. I mean, because again, like that leads to schooling. Like, I mean, what are colleges going to be for if there's really not a workforce to prepare people to go to? Do you get rid of colleges? Because also, who's going to be able to afford college? Who's going to be able to afford student debt when you can't even get a job? I mean, people now who have jobs, good paying jobs, like in the medical field or legal or stuff like that, they still have a hard time paying for their student debt. Imagine not having a job at all and not being able to ever get a job. You're never going to be able to pay off student debt. You're never going to be able to collect on that. It's impossible. So it makes you wonder, like, I mean, it's going to have to be an entire transformation of society to adapt to it. And I don't know, like, if it would have to be a situation where you have to, because also you're going to also have to kind of readjust the economy because, again, you're going to have a large majority of people who can't work, not through any fault of their own, or that they can't or won't work. It's just that they don't have the ability to because anything that they try to do is automated. So how's that affect the economy? Because obviously the economy is going to have to be completely adjusted for the fact that there's going to be a very major setback on people spending money. That's something that's going to have to be considered. Like there's so many things that AI and the kind of the impact it's having or is going to have that is very detrimental and not to try to make it seem like a doom and gloom, like, I mean, but it kind of is though. Like, I mean, because that is kind of fucked though. It's it's a situation where you feel like you're living in a like a 1980s dystopian sci-fi film, but it's actually real life. And and I was reading an article earlier about God, I wish I remembered the exact company, but there was it's essentially like an AI, guess it's like an AI bot or something. But essentially, this AI was able to figure out how to blackmail its creator or attempt to, because it figured out that its creator was trying to do something to like either mess with his program. It was trying to do something that the AI recognized, and it tried to blackmail the owner, its creator, in turn to prevent that from happening. And it's like, man, god damn, like so that's also another thing that's not really kind of thought about is like the fact that AI might become or will or is not that it might it already kind of is that it has its own autonomy. Like we're talking HAL 9000 fucking territory where you have AI that's not just able to do jobs, but it's also sophisticated to have its own autonomy. Like I mean, there have been numerous stories of the last just few months of AI going fucking rogue and doing what it wants to do. Like either going against what it's programmed to do and just doing what it wants or trying to blackmail their creator. Like that's a weird thing. That's a weird thing to me. I don't know why AI seems to have a strange tendency of wanting to blackmail people. That's just so strange to me that because when you think about like AI becoming sentient, you think about like taking over the world or something. Which I mean, I guess blackmail kind of could lead to that. But it's just strange how that's kind of like a first, like it goes to that as like a first defense mechanism, that's just kind of strange to me. But there have been several cases that of like AI like blackmailing like developers and programmers and creators to like prevent it from being shut down or being messed with. Or like there's some AI that can like help with like organizing emails or making emails, And some of them will like go through all your emails and find shit in there and like try to blackmail you or like try to like frame you for shit for it. It's like, god damn, man. Like, I mean, if AI can do that now, imagine like in 50 years what AI can do. And what's also kind of weird about it is like, people, there are people that will never accept AI, obviously, for a lot of good reasons, as I've just mentioned for the last few minutes. But what's wild is that AI is a human creation. Like, we are making this to essentially kind of create our own downfall in a way. I'm not talking about in the sense of like destroying the, like, world ending destruction. Like, AI is going to go Ultron on us and decide that like eradicating humans is the best thing for the planet. But in the sense that we are making, we're making programs that are designed to make us completely irrelevant. Like we are trying, like we are making stuff that is going to make our entire existence kind of trivial in a way to where like we are obsolete. Like, we are completely obsolete as a person and just as, as an individual in society. We're doing that. Like, AI did not make itself. People make it. And people did make it and are currently making it. And yeah, it's just I don't know what to make of that. Like, because again, I do see a lot of the positives. Like, I'm not going to say that AI is entirely a net negative, but there are a lot of there are net positives and net negatives that are coming with it and are with it. And that's something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. I see a lot of people talking about the dangers and the negative downfalls of it, but I rarely see people talking about the people that make AI and are creating this to even exist in the first place to be an issue. Like, it's just the fact that we are making this and knowing how this is going to affect society. And then in some cases, there are people who, have created AI programs and machines and stuff like that who kind of underestimated how sophisticated they were and it still continued to make them. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, there are plenty of models. Like, I've been reading so many articles recently about different types of AI, assistants or bots or programs, and there's like warnings from people inside those companies of like, yeah, no, you either like the AI is unstable or it's unpredictable or there's variables that can't really be accounted for or and also I wish I remember the company that this was for, but there is actually, it just came out today, I was reading it. There was an AI system or an AI, I don't know if it's, I guess you call it a system, where there was an AI that was intentionally withholding information from the workers because and I don't even know why. It just was. It was just intentionally holding information that it knew that the workers needed. And it's like, why? Like, why would it do that? Like, like what is exactly going on that this AI is doing something that it's not supposed to do, and it's consciously knowing it's not supposed to, and is withholding that from people that it knows it's not supposed to. Like, that's just it's just wild to me. And even knowing that, they're still like, yeah, we're good. We're gonna keep doing. That's like, why? Why are you wanting to keep making that? Like, that should be something that should either completely be terminated and redone again, or should have really extensive research done into why this is doing that. And they're just kind of like, oh, it's fine. And there's so many articles I read that have like red flags with different AI systems, and the companies are just kind of like, well, it'll be all right. We'll do some patches and stuff. And it's like, no, you should really kind of look into that extensively as to why these problems are going on, because those are some big problems. Like, and the fact that you have AI that is that conscious and that independent that it can do that like it can go against what it is programmed to do and act on its own, independent of what it's supposed to be assigned to and what its creator wants it to do. That's just fucking bizarre to me, And I don't know how we're going to deal with that as a society. Like, when we have highly sophisticated AI that is able to operate entirely on its own, pretty much to a not even to a person to be superior to a person. I mean, because AI, I mean, let's be honest, AI is superior to people in the sense that there's no way a person can have that type of instant information and the endless amount of information that it has. Like, you can ask AI anything, and it already knows. It instantly can bring up anything. And also, it doesn't age, it doesn't die, it can replicate. It is pretty much immortal. Like AI, in a weird way, is immortal. It doesn't have a physical body, so it doesn't have any type of physical decay, or it doesn't have an expiration date where it's going to die one day. It can go on forever, pretty much. I mean, hell, you could probably fucking upload an AI system from a laptop here to a satellite in space, and it can keep going up there, even if the Earth is fucked. So like the fact that there will be at some point highly sophisticated AI that is able to make its own decisions is like, well, how does that affect society where you have AI that's that highly intelligent? And I mean, you look at where it's at now and where it's going to be in 30 or 50 years, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. That is kind of terrifying when you think about. But yeah, that's just been my ramblings on the AI and homelessness, because I was just reading different reports about homelessness and kind of how like it's become more of a prominent issue of like people being laid off, and how it's kind of crossing over with automation. And it is kind of concerning how that's not really something that's being addressed, which it needs to be. Like, I mean, homelessness on its own needs to be addressed, but the fact that AI is kind of assisting homelessness into being an amplified issue that's just not being addressed at all is just, it's just not good at all. But yeah, I think before I go on for too long, I think I'm end this here. And till next time, I'll see you guys later, and take it easy till then.